What's going on, y'all? Episode number 35 of the Motorsports Almanac podcast coming at you. This week, we are going to be joined by Klint Tucker soon. He's running a smidge behind, but that's okay. And then here at about 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, Daryl Jackson Jr. is going to be joining us to talk about Snowbird Nationals this weekend down at Bradenton Motorsports Park, the kickoff to the Drag Illustrated Winter Series. Super excited for that. But man, why it's December, but it's already time for everything to start picking back up again. We've got Gateway Dirt Nationals this weekend in the Dome. We've got PRI next week. After that, it's going to be Christmas, and then we're going to blink, and it's going to be indoor pulling season with Lexington, Kentucky, Cloverdale, then Farm Show. I mean, it's here again. We've had about 3 or 4 weeks off, and it's time to go.
This is what we would always call silly season, and I don't know if there is really a technical silly season anymore based upon that everything is basically year-round. But, yeah, I think this is the portion of where racing starts to kick back up again in a serious fashion with the Winter Series. But polling is not going to be that far behind. Sure. Polling's going to be coming back here in Florida and the indoors in about a month. So, yeah, I mean, it's not that long off. And I hope everybody's ready because it's going to kick you in the face here soon. It's ready.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I left out the Chili Bowl. I mean, that's going to be going on. That's always fun every single year. Just, wow. I can't believe it's already here. It seems like November flew by, but it's time to get right into it. Gateway Dirt Nationals, as we mentioned, going on this weekend in the Dome in St. Louis. This field stacked again this year, like always, but I don't know who's going to win it, but it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's always the equalizer. We always call it, I know we can relate this to pulling the indoor side of it because it's a little bit of an equalizer, but dirt racing indoor is definitely an equalizer because there's no wind to be had. You're indoors. You basically drive the wheels off of it and fight in a bull ring. So, and whoever the best man is in that ring or woman, they're going to come out on top. So I'm excited to see what happens. I know it's going to be a little bit of a full weekend because watching between that one and Snowbirds.
No kidding.
Definitely have our eyes full of action happening.
Yeah, there's going to be no shortage. And I'm pretty sure it's all on Flow Racing this weekend too, isn't it?
Yes, all of the racing you will see this weekend, whether it's Snowbirds or the Dome, will happen on Flow Racing. If you don't have a subscription, they either have monthly subscriptions or they have an annual subscription for the year. And it's great quality. It's awesome coverage, and you'll see everything. And I love it. I have the subscription, and I don't miss a beat. If we're not watching polling, we're watching some type of motorsport there.
Yeah, I mean it's great to be able to go to just one spot with everything going on this weekend. And if there's something going on and you just want to flip over and see what's going on the other, you don't have to have multiple subscriptions to another app or something like that. You can just check in one place. But that's going to be awesome. Already seen some of the test runs. I don't want to talk too much about Bradenton because Daryl's already there, I'm pretty sure. But they've had testing today. NC Pro Motor was live again today. It seems like everybody's hitting the track. Hitting the ground running.
Oh, it's going to be a barn burner. If anybody hasn't seen the list, go look at either Drag Illustrated's list that they have on their Facebook page or website, as well as the Snowbird Nationals or Bradenton Motorsports Park. They will have all the drivers listed. Antron Brown, Eric Enders from the NHRA are there. Yeah. Our polling buddies, the Sheltons, are going to be there. And every top door slammer from Street Outlaws to Outlaws, Pro Mods, PDRA, they're all going to be there and fighting for not only $25,000 on the series champion, but $50,000 this week, $75,000 at the next one. The World Series is $150,000.
Yeah, it's going to be a big chunk. And also saw today too that Derek Ward's car is in the new, or not the new game, but is into the drag racing game finally a year later almost. That was really cool to see.
Yep. As always, like they said before, as when Spencer and Derek were on our show, every World Series Pro Mod winner from here on out is going to go win the game. So it's cool to see. They did a really good job on it. Looks really clean.
Man, I'm getting giddy just talking about all these events, but there's no shortage of other things going on in motorsports too. Just kind of some general news that came out just last week. Actually, Formula One is going to have a brand new team in 2026. Cadillac is going to be in Formula One. Drivers haven't been announced yet, but that's a huge deal going into the 2026 season. I know it's 2 years away, but wow.
It definitely brings a different demographic because a lot of, as you know, a lot of teams are overseas, European mainly
Yeah.
based companies that have the mainstay of fans, but having a domestic group like Cadillac and GM come into this worldwide motorsport, it's going to bring a whole new set of eyes to it. And I think it's a great move. I mean, I'm not sure what their engine or chassis combination is going to be, but it's going to be one that's
No,
going to bring eyes.
no, it will for sure. And I mean, if you guys don't follow Breakard, by the way, you guys really need to follow him if all the ins and outs of the Formula One and the NASCAR and the Indy cars interest you guys. Because this guy, he covers everything and is really good at what he does. But that's where we've been getting all of our info. I mean, obviously, he was a guest on our show at one point too, so gotta give a little bit of love to him. But I don't know. Other than that, there's been a few polling vehicles that have moved around here and there, but I guess the biggest thing that we're waiting on next is the Farm Machinery Show letters.
Yeah, we're right in the middle of obviously waiting for them. I mean, Thanksgiving happened, and everybody knows right after Thanksgiving, week or two later, if you're not getting your letter to get in, you'll get your letter of decline. So it's kind of the anticipation portion of this all. So I guess everybody's just got to play the waiting game right now.
We do.
But we can probably head to the polling side then. We can probably just start talking about Midwest Winter Nationals again. We can probably still wait for Klint, but if you can pull up probably the lists again of entries, because
the list of entries.
Yeah, because they also had some classes moved around, didn't they?
Well, yeah, that's actually what I was going after, was the one where it said what was changed. Actually, that's what I was going to pull up. And I don't know if everybody will be able to see this or not. I kind of doubt it.
And Bradley's right here too. Murfreesboro, another indoor one, the other part of February. Also,
Yeah.
their invites should be coming out here pretty soon.
Yeah. So if you guys missed it over Thanksgiving break, by the way, hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving while we're talking about it, actually. So classes have been removed. The 1850 mini rods, they have been removed. And the 6,500 pound classic modified big blocks, they're gone. The 6,200 pound pro stock full wheel drive truck class has been added to session 1, but is an invite only class. Mm-hmm. And it's already full.
Yep.
From what I've seen on the website. A5 Limited Pros will be split into 2 flights. Kind of saw that coming with the amount of entries. Same thing with the 9,000 Super Farms. The finals for the Pro Stock four-wheel drives will be in session 4. So my light limited super stock guys, listen up. Class is going to be into 2 flights. Both flights will be during session 5, and the top 4 of you guys will be in the finals. And last time I looked, there's 27 of them. So I'm sure Klint would like to get to 30 to make it an even 15 and 15. But we'll double check with him for sure whenever he gets in here. But in the coming weeks, there will be information about the hauler parking and all that fun stuff coming up soon.
Pay attention to the packet that you'll be getting. I know Klint has definitely emphasized this, but read that itinerary over and over again, because like he said before, he does not want to have questions and phone calls piling up day in and day out. So yeah, we're not too far from this, man. We're less than a month, actually. Just about.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I mean, it's already time for us to start looking at names and start preparing ourselves for that event. That's for sure. But TNT boys released their list for competitors going to the horse park in Lexington too, and there's a lot of names, especially in the light limited class, that are that if they're running there, they're gonna be running at Cloverdale. So I'll be really curious to see how all that goes.
Yeah, if they're not polling
Murfreesboro
yet,
invite should be out this coming week.
Yeah, if they're not polling at the Midwest Internationals, they're gonna be polling there because that's definitely one event that everybody, especially in the South, wants to go to. So, is there any other topics we should touch on before we get one of them in here? Because I know Clint's still running behind.
Off the top of my
Hello, Shane.
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're here. I think it's his internet's fuzzy.
Or did my internet crash?
One of the two. Anybody watching, please let us know if it's his internet or mine giving up a little bit, because
I've never had that issue since I've been here. Yeah, Jeff says we're still on. Okay, good deal. I don't know what's going on. That's weird.
Maybe it's because it's finally turned winter. I know up here it's really cold because there's snow on the ground already. But
yeah, maybe. Oh yeah. So just while we're just having a little bit of fun, we had a half an inch of snow here yesterday. They canceled schools out today.
What is it about everybody in the South that just freaks out over a flake of snow that pops on the ground? I mean, up here we have snow and ice. We still go to class
this morning. Whenever I woke up and saw it was gone. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Unbelievable. Adam, howdy. Hopefully we'll see you at the Midwest Winter Nationals here coming up soon, because this should be closer to your house, isn't it, Adam? Cloverdale than the Shipshawana? Or is it about the same distance?
Yeah, he's only 3 hours away. He's only two. I can't remember if he told me he's only 3 hours or 2 hours away from the house. It's one of the two.
Shane, what was your farm stock experience this weekend with you announcing?
Okay. That was interesting. We had 176 hooks in 9 hours. We started at 1 in the afternoon and went all the way until about 10:30 that night. So that was a interesting one. There was no smoke tube, no nothing like that. It was something.
Yeah, I bet it's definitely not having a smoke tube and a pavilion is kind of can be hazy. Not gonna hurt your eyes after a while. Adam says absolutely very close. It's now less than an hour.
Yeah. Ship was 3.5. He said, nobody told me about this farm stock hook. I would have come. Yeah, it was a good one, that's for sure. We had a bunch of them show up. A bunch of the guys are going to be running at Cloverdale is going to be there. Yeah, we had 17 street diesels show up, Bradley. So funny thing, the street diesels have never ran indoor in that building before. So that was a whole new experience for them. But it looks like Daryl has already jumped in here. So let's go ahead and bring him in while we're waiting. Daryl, what's going on,
buddy? What's up, Shane? How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Good. Long time no talk.
Long time no talk indeed, my friend.
Yeah. You right down in Bradenton?
I'm not. I'm still home, man. I have work for the rest of the week, and then I head down Friday morning. So I'm cutting it close. Ooh. But yeah, hey, you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just get right into it.
All right.
What is one of the things that you're really looking to keep an eye on this weekend at Bradenton? Drag Illustrated just announced the grudge match race of Antron and Lyle.
Well, there's a lot of things to look out for. Up until today, I was gonna say it's tough. I mean, there's just when you think about how many people are coming from so many different walks of life when it comes to door slammer racing and how they're all converging on one area just to go at each other. It's awesome to see it in that sense. But I mean, I think the Shake and Bake show said the other week. I mean, when have Antron Brown and Erica Enders ever actually met in one race?
Mm-hmm.
They've never even faced each other ever, and that's insane to think about. And then I mean, you just think about how many people. I mean, the season for the most part is pretty much over. So now you've got everyone that's focused on just making their way to Bradenton and trying to show down, man. It's going to be a good time. I mean, you think that Antron Brown is the current reigning NHRA Top Fuel champion, and he's making his way to Bradenton Motorsports Park to run Pro Mod. I mean, that's insane. So I think people who haven't been in the seat of a Pro Mod all season, I think watching them run Pro Mod is going to be interesting. Because I mean, the weather's going to be good. It's going to be phenomenal, and you want to see what everyone's going to be able to pull out of their back pocket and show their hand come Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Daryl, for the people that don't know you, where are you actually located? Because I have not met you. You've met Shane at the PR Race in Galat, but others that may be new to this, where do you call home, and what do you do, and and that leads me to my first question. What brought you to door slammer drag racing in the media?
Well, for those that don't know me, my name is Daryl Jackson Jr. I am a photographer out of Southern Maryland, Upper Marlboro specifically. I am about 45, 50 minutes from Maryland International Raceway. That's my home track. And so I've been involved in racing since I was a baby. I can't say a year, just all my life. I've always been around racing. And my dad actually specifically ran bracket racing. That's how I got my start in it. But specifically on a professional level, in media, I got involved late 2018. And I actually worked with a good friend, Anthony Pender. He brought me into the photography aspect of things, and I went out on my own in 2020, and that was it's pretty much. I don't want to say it was all downhill from there, but I mean it's been a roller coaster since then, and that's about as long as I've been involved in racing on the media side of things, and it's been an awesome time.
Now, does your mainstay is mainly photography, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I remember whenever you and I met at Galat, I think you were one of the first guys I actually met there.
Yeah.
That was really cool getting to meet you and Krista and Limo Guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just some of the ones that I hung out with that weekend. But it was crazy to see how big of a family you guys really were. It was like you guys had all been away from each other all year.
Man, I got to tell you, it's something I guess I didn't really expect. When I first came in, I mean, you had your people that had been there for so many years already, and some of them were people younger than me that already had probably 4 or 5 years on me. And so, you come in, you try to be humble. You don't want to start, ruffling feathers or anything like that. And you just want to come in, you want to do your job. And I mean, I love racing. I tell everyone that this is not hard to do by any means if you actually have a passion for the sport. And I have loved racing since I was a baby. Like, I mean, it's insane. I pit my love for racing up against anybody else's. And that's what makes this so fun and so easy for me. So that way, if I went somewhere and I didn't know anybody, I'm at the racetrack. You can't tell me that I'm going to have a bad time. You can't tell me like, hey, man, are you worried about those people over there? No, I'm not, because I'm at the racetrack and I'm going to have a great time regardless. But running into the people that I met when I first started shooting full-time with the PDRA, they absolutely welcomed me with open arms, including the owners of the PDRA, Tommy and Judy Franklin. They made me feel like I was at home, whether I was 2 hours away or 10 hours away. And that was something that was big to me, because now I get to travel with my family and then continue to have a great time watching racing with the people that I care about. And that was a big deal for me. And that's what makes it so easy to keep doing.
That I can fully agree upon. It doesn't matter if it's like when we were coming from the polling world, anytime that we go polling or racing, whether it's dirt track or drag racing, there's always a sense of either community or family, just because it's all one place where we have a common love and we have a passion for it. And the passion, I mean, it doesn't make you hate anybody, because you're there to have all a good time and compete in good old fashioned competition.
Right.
So it's always been, everyone's asked, is it a safe place to bring kids? Is it a safe place to bring new people? Absolutely it is, because I don't know of anybody that I've brought someplace that hadn't said when they left they didn't have a good time, because it's everybody's nice. They welcome each other with open arms. They have always good things to say. Hey, how you doing? How's the family? What's going on in your life? So I can totally test that. It's such a, and just motorsports industry as a whole is such a great place to be.
It's funny you actually say that, just because like I said, I haven't been doing this on a professional level for that long. And I mean, it feels like between the relationships that I've forged with companies, racers, and the people that I shoot with, the people that I share a wall with, it's insane. I mean, like you said, it's hard to walk the pit sometimes and not get, like, say, I mean, most of the time our season is when it's 95 plus outside. So it's hard to walk the pits and not find a handful of people, probably I'd say close to a dozen racers or anybody otherwise, like, hey buddy, you need something to eat or drink? Hey, you're more than welcome to come in my camper. And it's like that. When I started, it's just, obviously it takes a while because you have to build a rapport with people. But I mean, you get so many people that treat you like family, and you only see them for, I don't want to say only, but I mean, you see them for so much of the year. And then, it's just, everyone treats you like family. And then even when you have someone who's never been, that's the thing that I get the most joy out of, is watching someone who has never been to the racetrack or never been to a PDRA event, in Shane's case, and you get to show them what this is really about. Like, for some people, it's like their biggest experience, or the most they've experienced when it comes to drag racing, is a test and tune on Friday night where there's street cars and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, no. If you come on down to a West Buck race, or you come down to the PDRA or anything like that, and you see the level of these guys and gals are racing on, and then you experience the people that are actually involved in it, it's people always leave smiling ear to ear. And that's something that I really boast about, especially when it comes to the PDRA.
And it doesn't matter if you see him the week. It doesn't matter if you see him the week before or you haven't seen him for 6 months. It's like you never left.
Exactly. It's as if we saw him the other day.
Yeah. Daryl, you going to PRI?
Yes, I am. I will also be going to PRI.
Hey, sweet. I think, Wyatt, you're going too, aren't you?
I plan on it. But
I'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be there too.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, get to see everybody again. Well, I'll get to introduce you to everybody.
Yeah, that would, I'm about to say, if Shane hasn't told you anything about me, I'm very big on actually meeting people. And once I meet you, you'll probably instantly become family. Just a heads up. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's at least a good thing to say.
Yeah.
If it's anything like it was at the track, I bet every one of y'all that was there is going to be traveling in a pack like you guys did there, right?
Hey man, it's we always look out for each other. It doesn't matter where we are. As long as we see each other, it's that instant, like, hey man, what's going on? Hey, where you headed, man? I'm headed over here. All right, is my if I go with you? Yeah, let's go. Everywhere. It doesn't matter where we're at. We could not be at the racetrack if you want, but it's like that all the time, and I love it, man.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. But man, I don't know what to expect. Do you have any? Is there a specific storyline that you're looking forward to this weekend, besides the one that we've already talked about with them going, the non-pro mod drivers hopping into pro mods?
There are a couple. So for me, I like to follow, well, for instance, the weather in Florida, I feel at this time of year is pretty good. Like, I mean, it's normally, I would say normally, I mean, it's Florida. So you think it's probably high 70s, maybe low 80s from time to time. Well, it's going to be a little bit cooler than that this time around. So I'm interested in seeing, I mean, some of these guys are coming in with new combinations. For instance, Jay Cox. Jay Cox has only ever been in a nitrous car from what I know. And this weekend he's in a twin turbo car. Like that's insane to me to even think about. But like, for instance, for somebody like him, I'm interested in seeing what kind of ET he's going to be able to run come Friday, and they turn the boards on. Because I mean, you're talking boost weather, and you're talking a guy who has never been behind the frame rails of any other kind of combination that wasn't nitrous, and now you're putting him something that's got a little bit more steam to it. And I want to know how he's going to be able to handle that. So I mean, you think about somebody like Jay Cox, who's got more or less getting his feet wet all over again. Like you said earlier, I mean, other than some of the no prep king guys that are stepping back into pro mod with their MPK cars, like that'll be pretty awesome to see. I mean, I got a chance to watch Kyle Kelly earlier this year in Michigan, and I'll be honest, he caught a lot of people by surprise. A lot of people probably took him for granted and didn't realize that he was really good at cutting the tree. So I mean, you have to think about guys like him, and I mean, he's not the only one. I mean, you think about Robin Roberts,
Scott Taylor.
Scott Taylor, that's right. And Jim Howe. Like you think about those guys, and I mean, those guys aren't afraid. Like people, I feel like people pick on them and don't realize that they were racers before the Street Outlaws thing, and they were good racers. So you got to think about those guys and how they're going to fit into the fold. And I mean, Erica Enders hasn't been in a Pro Mod car in 2 years.
Yeah, it's 2 or 3. If it's 21,
I can't recall either, but it's been a while. It's a while to not have been behind a Pro Mod car. And I also believe she's driven just about every combination in a Pro Mod car, except for maybe blower at this point. But it'll be interesting to see her back behind the wheel of a Pro Mod car and how she's gonna do. Because I mean, at the same time, talking about a 6-time world champion in a class where you still have to use 3 pedals. I mean, that's impressive, but now you put her behind the seat of a car that's been proven with Lyle Barnett behind the wheel, and you putting her in the mix of a whole lot of other people that are heavy hitters in their own right. And I think it's going to be interesting just to see all these these different levels of cars, and they all have to be able to fit into this 32 car field come Sunday morning. And I think it's going to be a run what you brung and hope you brought enough.
Yeah, we can. It's so amazing to see the split between number 1 and 32 all the time. I mean, the last 2 World Series of Pro Mod, 6/600ths of a second split into 1 and 32, and 56 thousandths in 23. So it's like you said, run what you brung and hope you brought enough, because you didn't bring enough, your head's gonna be on the floor.
Yep. And if I have learned anything in the past 2 years, it's that when you bring Wes Buck and Vic Alvarez together to promote a Pro Mod race, you are going to get absolute dogs when it comes to the level of racers that are coming. Like you said, I mean, I think the spread, what'd you say, was 5 or 6 numbers?
Yeah, it was 600ths in 24. This the World Series Pro Mod in March, and then I believe in 2023 the World Series Pro Mod, the Spencer one, was 500ths or 56 thousandths, one of the two. If
you just think about that, that's insane. That's absolute insanity. That's like I remember like for us at PDRA at the Drag Wars, our second to last race of the season, you needed a 3 in Pro Boost, our fastest category. You needed a 364 to get in the field. Not to be mid-pack, not to be top of the pack. You needed it to get in. If you were 64, 8 or something like that and slower, you were sitting out and watching on Saturday morning, came race day. And that's absolutely insane to think about. So now you're taking that level of driver and those level of cars, and now you're adding it to a field of 32, but then you're talking like 60 to get in. That's absolutely bonkers. So it's that I get excited about that, because you could be running 360s or 380s. When it's that close, that to me is the best racing. I don't care if the top dog is a 355 or 356 player, and everybody else is 6, 7, 800s behind. Like that's not it's cool and everyone's running good, but it's not tight and it's not good racing. But that good racing, it doesn't matter what you're running. If everyone's within 5 or 4 numbers, you cannot count anybody out come race day. And I love that kind of racing, because it's like you just don't know what to expect. Everyone's got to be on the tree, and if you're not, you better hope someone messes up halfway down the racetrack, because other than that, you're not going to get it. And that's what I think it comes down to.
And I think it also keeps the top guys accountable because if you look at how they set the layout for eliminations, it's always by chip draw. It's never by 1 in 32 because if you're 1 in 32, maybe you're like, all right, I can probably take throw some more delay in the lay box. Or
as long as I'm 120 green or better, I should be in good shape. It's like, you can't do that here.
you can have the number 1 and 30, number 1 and 2 draw each other, and you can have a 31 and 32 draw each other. It's just how it goes.
Like we were just saying, I mean, say you do get number 32. Well, guess what? Number 32 is probably only 4 numbers behind you. That's not a lot of. That's not a big gap. So you still can't take them any lighter if you were at any other race. It's just you cannot take anyone less serious than you would any other time because everyone here is an absolute dominator in their own right, and you have to give every single person in that other lane the absolute respect that they deserve. Otherwise, it's going to cost you.
And that's kind of leading me into one question I had is with some of the no prep guys coming into this race, like the guys that said Scott Taylor, Kai Kelly, Robin Roberts, Jim Howe, even Justin. Do you think that some of the guys will kind of still underestimate them?
I think you will have some that will go, well, he's got his no prep car here, so I think we should be in good shape, or I think this, or I think that, well, they run instant green most of the year, so I think I got them cut. You're gonna have a couple. Now, I gotta say, if anyone that was invited to this winter series, you cannot underestimate. It's plain and simple. I mean, there's this whole sect where there's a split between everyone where, there's MPK guys over here and there's Pro Mod and PDRA and Midwest over here. It's like, okay, well, you bring the two together, I guarantee you they're not invited because they're a bunch of ducks. They're invited because they need to be taken seriously, and you don't have that choice of being able to, or you don't have that luxury of being able to take anybody, or not take anybody serious. Because if they were invited, they are to be taken seriously. Like you can't just assume because of what they run the rest of the year that they're not going to come down to Florida and be an absolute menace. So you're gonna have people that are probably gonna take them, less serious or not take them as serious as they should. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be some sad people come Sunday.
Yeah. Daryl, who's gonna be your predicted? Who's your prediction to win the whole thing?
I was afraid you were gonna ask me this.
That was one of my questions. I actually had 2 parts to that question.
I was afraid you were gonna ask me this.
I think I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna call a repeat winner.
Really?
I think Daryl, or not. Sorry, I saw the comment over here. It said Daryl. It threw me off. I think Derek. Derek Ward.
How about Oh man, you put me on the spot here, Shane. You put me on the spot.
This is gonna be hard too because not everybody.
You knew I was gonna come with the loaded question.
I did.
You've watched enough of our shows by now.
Can I get 3 options? It's 60 plus cars.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll give you 3.
Okay.
I'll give him 3 from the start. I mean, this out of 60 cars, there's
so hard to choose, man. They're just okay. So,
Robert says Marcus Mick for the win.
Mark Mickey was my first choice because the way that car has been running this season, man, and like I said, I mean, most of our season is in 95 plus degree weather. Well, Mark Mickey runs in the Midwest. So now you're talking 98 plus degrees.
Yeah.
I mean,
and humidity.
And humidity through the roof. But the way that car's been running this year, I would be surprised if I at least did not see Mark Mickey in the late rounds come Sunday. So Mark Mickey was my first choice. Lyle Barnett was my second choice.
After that lick today he had, I don't disagree at all.
If you put Lyle in a fast running, consistent running race car, he is going to be a problem. You could put Lyle in a slow car. Lyle is beyond capable when it comes to that light. He normally leaves most people behind. It doesn't matter what he's in. So he's going to be a problem, especially if you put him in something that's fast and consistent. He's going to be no worse than 22 or 24 come race day, and that's a problem for most people. So Lyle Barnett was my second choice.
Now you got to decipher between like the PDRA champs or any of the guys that have won different races throughout the year. It's a lot.
Man, it is.
I'm with Robert. Kurt Stedding's that's a good one.
But that's the problem. They're no bad picks. There really aren't any bad picks. And that's the whole thing.
I know. Like, I feel like I'm undercutting the guys who haven't been in a pro mod all year long.
And that's nothing too. Like, it just
the first timers, like I don't know. Like, this is gonna be my first time really being
to actually be able to make like a well-educated decision. I just know about what I've been seeing all year. And like I feel like I think Spencer Hyde might be a problem too. I mean, you think about what he's been doing anytime he goes to Bradenton, whether it's World Series of Pro Mod, Snowbirds, or U.S. Street Nationals. I mean, you get so many guys and gals that are a problem wherever they go, and then you talk about somebody like Spencer, who's who's a problem anywhere he goes. And I mean, PDRA or not, it's
the showdown in Missouri. He only lost to Mark Mickey by 0.004 of a second.
I was watching that. I was on the starting line for that race, and I could not tell you. I couldn't if they did not have win lights. I could not tell you who won that race.
Mm-hmm.
I knew who I thought was going to win that race, and I
don't think a camera at the end of the track could have told you if they had every freaking frame there was.
So by the way, you take somebody like him and you put him next to 10, 12 different type of people that run like Mark Mickey. It's insane how tough this is going to be. It's like Stevie Fast said it best. If you qualify for this race, you've done something. Like that's something to actually like pat yourself on the back about because it's you have to be out in front of so many different cars, and then come race day, now you have to go through the gauntlet all over again. Mm-hmm. And it's gonna be tough. But Mark Mickey, Lyle Barnett, Spencer Hyde are the people that I would look out for to push late rounds.
These are my three, and you weren't far off. I was going to take Mark Mickey as one of them because I'm a turbo guy at heart. I mean, it's all we've known. Second was going to be Jason Harris.
That's who I wanted. That was who I wanted to pick. I mean, just
because I think when it came to the showdown race of what I saw, I think he was headed. No disrespect to anybody else, but I think he was headed to the top there. I don't think there's any stopping him at that race. And my third was going to be Melanie Salemi.
Yeah, she's dangerous too. Gosh, there's so many good picks. That's like, for instance, like Jason Harris. Jason Harris had like a rough first half of the season.
Oh, and yeah. I mean,
a lot of people counted him out. And then like just we hit, I think, Pro Stars, and then he grabbed his first win, and it was just I told a lot of people that to me, momentum is an absolute monster. If you have momentum on your side, it's very hard to bet against a person that's got momentum going. And that's Jason Harris obviously has plenty of momentum going, being the current Pro Boost champion right now. But it's hard just because there's so many good drivers and so many good cars. It's so hard to pick. But yeah, that's a very good pick. Jason Harris is a very good pick.
Do you think with the time off between when PDRA season ended and now the momentum would wear off just a little bit with everybody else having a little bit of time to step up their game and get some test hits in along the way?
Not for somebody like Jason Harris. Jason is just built different. I mean, it's just,
I agree with you.
It's so hard to, and I can't even say that necessarily when people get that time to relax and you're not as tense anymore. You got the championship in the bag and you're celebrating, and then you got a couple races coming up, and we're talking big money. We're talking a lot of good racers. So a lot of people just slip back into that tense, that gritty. We got stuff to get. We got some unfinished business. We got to get the job done. And Jason Harris, man, it doesn't matter if it's been 2 months or 5. It's you cannot count him out when he lines up next to you. It doesn't matter how much time's gone by.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's the next one for you. What's the bump spot? Bob says 63 or 62. I'm not going to go that low. I'm going to say a 64 with an 8.
Ooh. I'm going to say 63.8.
See, the reason why I didn't go that low is just because the last spreads haven't been that bump spot. Not saying it won't be, but
Right.
we don't know what the air is going to be on Friday and Saturday. We don't know what any of the weather, track conditions, none of it.
Given what I have seen, it's liable to change any moment. We know this about the weather. Given what I've seen, I would say the bump spot is a 365.4. Given the amount of cars and the cars that I know are going to be there, I say 365.4 because I don't think anyone's really. You'll get a couple people that are going to try to knock the scoreboards down. You're going to get a couple people that are going to try to, get some oohs and ahs, but I feel everyone's going to show as much as they need to show as far as getting in. And then Sundays when you're going to start seeing those ETs, those ooh ah moments are going to come back Sunday, and that's because now it's game time. Now you have to actually start pouring the coals to it. So I think 365. I'll say 365 because I don't like going down to the thou. It gets real fast.
Yeah.
I'll say 365. I think that's reasonable for what the weather's going to be and for the amount of cars that are going to be there.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't know. I thought he had something else on his mind, but Daryl, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Absolutely.
Seriously, it's been great to get back in touch with you.
1 second, I got one more. Hold on.
Oh boy.
So it's just a generic question, basically, and it's one I had written down earlier, and it has to deal with being that it's a winter series now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly how I wrote it. With it being a winter series now, and everybody's allowed to step their game up. Where do you see the pro mod, especially the pro mod world, outlaw pro mod, NHRA going from here? Do you think the numbers step up on all associations? Do you think everybody looks at their programs after this says, all right, we need to change? What do you think we'll see? Because there's always in this time, there's a little bit of silly season stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
New races will come up, big payouts will come up, driver changes, all that.
I think you will start to see a lot more people start to go full-time pro mod racing. I have a lot of inklings, I'll say, that you will start to see here. I'll put it to you like this. When you see someone like Antron Brown start to shift their focus after the NHRA season is complete on pro modified racing, it's cool to see that someone like that views pro mod on that high of a level. That it's like, all right, man, now the season's over, man, we could focus on door slammer racing because it's about to get real hot in the winter series. And so I think the combinations where they are right now are pretty doggone close. And because of that, I think you won't see too much jumping around. Not combination wise, I don't think. But you will start to see a lot of new faces. And that to me is where I think the sport will just start to get newer or more new faces each year, especially in pro mod. It's just it's starting to get that feel to it where it's something that people can't afford to miss out on. And if you have the means, I mean, what are you doing? I don't want to say it like that, but it's like if you have the means to be rubbing shoulders with the baddest in the business when it comes to door slammer, I mean, why not? Why not? I mean, you're talking about some of the tightest racing you'll see, whether it's 100 degrees outside or it's 60, and those numbers they haven't gotten out of control. I don't think they will because we have such good guys and gals in tech, and their sole purpose is to keep that in check. But I think with as good as racing has been lately, you will only start to see newer faces, and with that will come a new level of competition, and that's what's going to really put this sport in a. It's already kind of in a league of its own, but it's really going to put it in its own league when you start to add more faces and you start to bring in a new level of competition that keeps the guys and gals that are already, vets in this deal on their toes. So I think you'll just start to see newer drivers and younger drivers and keeping the sport alive. So
yeah,
I hope it ultimately translates to the other associations too, whether it's Northeast Outlaw, Midwest, PDRA. I hope it translates to them too, where you see more, the numbers are more consistent. Whereas some people said years past, you were begging for numbers. Now you're not.
Yeah, but so you got all you need right now. I mean, it's you need to be able to. Well, that's kind of the thing too. Is it's competitive most places, and where it's not, you have the issue of people leaving where there is a competitive series to go race another competitive series that's not where you are or not where you're local to, and that has its cons. Because all in all, I mean, you want to bring more people into the sport, but it definitely has its downsides when it takes away from local series. Like the series local to me was Northeast Outlaw, and that series has kind of seen the way of the dodo, and that that's tough. I mean, it's just it's almost like a two-edged sword. Like you always have new drivers that come in and people that are able to run on a certain level, but once they reach that certain level, then they kind of want to up their level of competition. And most places where your level of competition, especially when it comes to pro mod racing, it's not local to where they live unless you live in the South. And that's kind of the downside. But I do have plenty of faith that there are people in the right places to keep pro mod racing available in all regions of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at with it now. Obviously, you just kind of got to wait and see how things play out. But that's where I feel it is now, and hopefully for regions that aren't specifically the South, it does get better, and you start to get better numbers and more cars coming in, because that's ultimately what makes this sport so great, is that you have people, you give somewhere for people to race, and people don't have to travel but so far. But that's where I think it is now, and that's where I would like to see it go, especially this season.
Well, I think we can all agree on this. With pro seasons over, all eyes are going to be on Bradenton.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's going to talk of the conversation next week at PRI. What happened this week and where is it going to go?
Mm-hmm. And remember, this is a 3-race series, so it's like, man, did you hear about what happened to Snowbirds last weekend? Man, I can't wait till late January for U.S. Street Nationals. Or did you hear what happened at U.S. Street Nationals? Man, imagine what World Series of Pro Mod is going to be like. Like, it's just it's going to keep, like, this is going to set the standard for what the remainder of this series is going to be like. And I think it's going to be an absolute insane show, and you do not want to miss it.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I totally agree, man. I totally agree.
Yeah, man.
Well, I got nothing else. So
I
you
don't
answered all my
either.
questions.
Yeah, Daryl, thanks again, man. It's been awesome to have you on, and we're definitely going to catch up at PRI next week.
Yes, sir. Hey, thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate you guys, and this was a pleasant surprise, and this was absolutely a blast. And Shane, it's always great catching up with you, my friend. And
yeah,
man, nice to meet you through the computer, but
Yeah.
I will meet you at PRI, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Do. Well,
hey,
Daryl,
real quick before you go, where can people find all of your stuff, your photos and stuff like that?
You can find me on Instagram, JR Covers, JRCOVERAGE on Instagram, and that's JRC Photos on Facebook. And I also have a website. You can catch the website in my bio on Instagram. But that's where all my photos are. Photos, reels, whatever you want, I got it.
Yeah. Daryl, one of the things I'm going to challenge myself to do next week is bring you kind of into our other realm of the truck and tractor pulling side, and we're at PRI and show you some things there.
Dude, I have been telling people it's hard to get away from racing every now and then, but when I always have wanted to shoot at a tractor pull, bro. I've wanted to do it for so long, and I never get a chance to actually step away from it or step away from drag racing to get a chance to do it. But dude, I have seen some of those monsters sitting on the floor at PRI, and man, I want to get on the wall to shoot one of those things.
Well, we've got a polling for brethren in the pro mod world in racing this weekend, so you can probably catch up with him.
I will shoot. I will definitely be shaking some hands with some folks trying to get involved.
Definitely. All right, man. Good to hear from you. We'll see you soon.
All right, buddy. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Mr. Tucker.
Hey, boys.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm doing real good.
Awesome. So, your meeting was this last Saturday. Take us through everything and what's going to be happening here just a little over a month away.
Yeah, month away. Well, we had our pre-event meeting here over the weekend, and we had do a little class shake-ups, and we eliminated two that this wasn't working out, and then we added a nice class of pro stock full drive trucks that's kind of native to that area. Guys living around the Brazil, Greencastle, Cloverdale area. So I think that's going to be a really nice addition. I wish we'd have done this earlier, but there was a lot of confusion between me and the guys that got these trucks. We were kicking around the idea of having them at Gordyville a few years ago, and I talked to a couple guys that were kind of close and asked them if they'd be interested, and they said sure. And then we started going through all the details about moving from outdoors to indoors, and the big sticker for them was, well, you just can't pick us up, move us around. And I'm like, well, we have to. So that was pretty much a deal breaker. And then Isaac Hilburn and I are pretty good buddies, and I got research plots on him, and he has a pro stock truck. He runs around with Jake Zaring and on the NTPA Grand National Circuit, and we talked it all over. He got 12 or 14 trucks organized, and yeah, we're rolling with it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a great addition too, especially for the local audience, getting them involved.
Absolutely. There's, and essentially in the end, there's just not a whole pile of hot farms. There's a lot of good pro stock trucks and 3.0 trucks too. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the dates for that can be January 9th or the 11th at the C-Bar-C Expo there in Cloverdale, Indiana. So, Clint, what spots are still available? Because I've seen the 6250 Light Limited Super is going to be split into 2 flights. Is that going to be considered full because there's names not on that list yet, or are we still taking a couple of them? Just depending on what class it is.
We'll probably take a couple more light limiteds. We'll probably take a couple more light pros too. And there's a couple 4-1 guys that are trying to get motors redone and back together. But I'm not holding my breath. We have a big lineup now. So we'll entertain a little bit, but not a whole lot. I know the guy reached out today with a mile-per-hour tractor wanting to come in on Thursday, and if he can get his stuff all legal, we'll probably allow him to. But we got a pretty full show, and this is the silly season where guys jump around, break on the dyno and stuff. So I guarantee you there'll be additions in the next 3 weeks. When one guy goes down, another guy will pop in there. But I usually put them on some form of like a little bit of a waiting list and have all the information here. Then if when we hear the unfortunate news somebody can't make it, we'll get them in there. But we'll have good classes every night. The guys told me today I told him I was going to be on their show tonight. I said, push tickets. Tickets are on sale. We'll get our charity tickets going pretty quick here too, for the charity toy. I think we're going to do something along the lines of Feed the Children this year.
Okay.
I don't think Charles has ran down Danica Patrick yet, but I think he's intending to. Let's see if she'll come to the show. But our live streams are for sale. You can start buying them now and getting that all organized. Well, hopefully we'll have a fantastic live stream in there. Really kind of intimate setting, so we'll do the best we can with what we got. But yeah, we're looking forward to a big show, and the boys are working on getting everything parked in the pit area nice and orderly, and I'm still working on the parking lot nice and orderly. So when you get there, you'll know exactly where you're going, where you're parking, and should work out pretty easy as long as everybody cooperates.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be getting the information too, and either when they get there or as soon as they get on the ground, right?
We mail it all out. They'll have it.
Okay.
My goal is that everybody has their map, their passes, their hauler passes, everything. We want that all out and in their hands before Christmas. Is our goal.
Okay.
Now, the more they jump around, the more it complicates everything, because there's about 7 things got to be done on the computer and 3 things got to be done with paperwork when they jump around to get done. And sometimes that isn't. We don't have an office. We just work out of my house. So I got my daughter and Faith help me and my wife, but sometimes that stuff doesn't happen instantaneously. Zolik has a job. I got a job. We're just doing the best we can with what we got.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show for sure, and it looks like the 97 limited pro stock 4-1 class has kind of picked up a little bit with the challenge that you've thrown down with the call outs. I think my Mid-South Points champion is going to come make a run at them.
Yep. Yeah, Mid-South call out guy, and we got an outlaw call out guy, which is awesome.
Yeah, super excited to see that.
And we might have had more if we just started this earlier, but I know a lot of guys are sitting at home waiting, holding, praying, holding their breath as they get into the show down in Louisville. That affects us sometimes too, and that information can't come out quick enough for us, because that sometimes changes our portfolio a little bit as well whenever they make those announcements. But hopefully they're coming out here quick.
Yeah. So what classes are we still looking to fill? I know Super Farm's still a smidge light, but I think after the letters go out, I think that'll pick up.
Yeah. Now, we always struggle with them. This, the last 4 or 5 years, but it's there. The California guys will be there. Some local guys will be there, and it's good. Have a nice little mix. You don't have to have 100 of them. It's nice to have a little mix of them, and it'll be a good show. Brandon will do a good job, and Super Farms are really easy class to showcase.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some of the last minute details, vendor sponsor info?
Yep.
Stuff.
Vendors need to get their stuff sent in. Because they'll be over there in that area when you first come in the building from the southwest. They've always done a really, really good job of getting that to where the fans and the pullers can all interact. That'll be a really neat area. And sponsors, we still got a few class sponsors left. We still got a few box seats left. Kind of mid-track on one side. I got one left, and then we got a few on the starting line on the non-smoke tube side available. It's pretty good value. If you do the math, it ends up being just a couple dollars more a ticket, and you get to sit right there along the track and with your buddies and enjoy it. A lot of guys sent me emails. I've sent them information, but I haven't got much back yet on the last few boxes. But yeah, we got those available, and we got a lot of the classes, got class sponsors now, and so happy for all that, because these guys are supporting the classes to support them, and that's really important in this day and age. So yeah, we're probably the better now than we've ever been before as far as getting all the class sponsors involved. So it's a neat situation. You can come out on the track and get your picture taken with the guys on they do the finals, and yeah, it'll be really good.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Bradley Sturgeon says, looking forward to seeing the 5-0 pros, especially with the Mid-South guys coming to run with the others. It'll be a great mixture. Yeah, I agree. So
Sure.
are you kind of capping it at 13 there, or are there still a couple
Oh,
of them out there that you're waiting to hear from?
I've had a couple emails from guys that are working on motors now, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got 15 or 16 time it's all over.
Sweet. I'm super excited for that one. Of course, 5-0s made their debut there last year, and old Dean, he took it to him on the 5-0 class.
Yeah. Last year we had this, the Snowmageddon come in there, and it hurt a couple of them getting there. But this year, hopefully, that where we're at, we won't have that kind of problem. And with the weather we've got the last couple of weeks, being a little bit froze, a little bit cold there, probably was a benefit because parking lot will be nice and froze. Parking for the spectators, because some of that's in the grass area, will be nice. And we've got the buses organized to pick you up and bring you right to the door and drop you off. So yeah, it's gonna be a neat event.
Yeah, well, why? You have any questions you want to add in?
Not necessarily at this point. Just like I was just going to reiterate what I said before we had Daryl on. Read the itinerary. I know Klint, you said this before. Read that itinerary 3-4 times over before asking questions, because it should have everything you need and every question you have answered in there.
Yeah, well, we hope they do, and because when they get there and they start calling me, most of them I don't answer, so they just kind of got to feel their way through it. But because we're running, and this year we were actually a day later on being able to get the track prep building set up, because they have a horse show the week before. They got to get all the stalls out of our way and get organized, and we can get organized. So our test passes may not be as early on Wednesday as we normally have done, but we'll get them done. We're in no hurry. They can't fire us because we're our own boss. So we'll figure it out. It'll be all right. We're doing the best we can.
We'll run at some point on Wednesday night. Just don't know when.
Last year, we were ready to rock 3 hours before our scheduled time. And this year, we hope to do that, but, we'll be close. Just getting everybody in the building, get them warm, because we don't like breakage during our test passes. We limit them because it was getting kind of a whole lot of nonsense at Gordyville. We'd have more test passes on Wednesday night than a lot of outdoor shows have the whole summer. So that was dumb. So we limit them, so we don't keep the Vanguard boys out all night, because we start 10 o'clock Central Time, processing tractors on Thursday morning, and we want to continue to do that. Fresh faces and good attitudes all week.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys, here on the Motorsports Almanac page, you've already seen the first couple of them come out, and this goes for any of the Midwest Motor Nationals competitors that are registered for the event. We are going to be showcasing the ones that I already have video of from going out this summer. We're going to be showcasing you guys on the Motorsports Almanac page. Our first one went out yesterday with Shane Scott. Today was Nick McCrell, and I think tomorrow we start our light limited super guys. But if you guys want to be showcased on the page for this tractor pull, all I need is the best video you've got. And if you have a graphic on the side of your tractor, either a straight on shot of your side shield would be great, or if you have the actual logo file, that would be fantastic. But that's going to be something that we really hit on between now and probably all the way up till the Wednesday before the poll starts and highlighting all you guys are going to be there for those of you pullers who are watching. So if you want to be a part of it,
Sure.
just shoot me a text.
Sure, that's neat. You guys put videos up. We've considered doing that on our website because we have so many videos in the What's Smoking,
Yeah.
deal. And but that might be something we do coming in the future. But right now we're just struggling to get everybody to get a good picture.
Yeah.
Of the
No
tractor.
kidding. Yeah. I mean, what we've done with our videos, Clint, is that I've taken all the color away from it and just left purely the highlight of whatever color the tractor is. And if it's got a graphic,
Sure.
it just appears in the corner going down the track. But there's a couple of those black and white videos that the tractor emerges just right and it's going just right with the dirt, that the dirt's changing colors as the sled goes over it.
Sure.
So that looked really neat. So I'm really excited for those. But man, other than that, Tucker, I do have to ask, how did you feel about the college football playoff rankings tonight? Just on a total side note.
Illinois, we don't talk about football a whole lot. We're gonna get to play the bowl game. Let's just hope it's not against Alabama.
Alabama got in to the playoffs tonight.
Good. I was at a terrible basketball game before I got on the phone with you guys.
Oh no. Basketball not going much better than football season, huh?
That's actually the horrible. Yeah, it's not good at all. For being a 4A school, we're terrible.
Oh.
But but I'm glad Alabama got in. That way we don't have to play them in a bowl game and ruin our New Year's Eve. We'll play anybody but a SEC team. So they're all good.
Wyatt, even see now Tucker understands it. Wyatt has this thing that he thinks Arizona State would beat Alabama right now. Sorry. It's an SEC school. I don't think so.
That don't mean anything. I always beat SEC schools in New Year's Six Bowls before.
Since when? Before I was born?
No, Kentucky a couple years ago.
All right. Well, on that note, Clint, thank you again, man. Any details that you want pushed out there, you've got my number for sure.
Sure. And anybody got any questions, you just send a message to the What's Smoking page or email me, and we'll get you handled.
Yeah. Thanks, Clint.
No problem, guys. Take care.
You can stick on if you want to. We won't be on here too long.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
See ya. Oh, man, I'm ready to go back pulling now. After talking about all that, I'm ready to go.
Well, it's got to be anything better than 10-degree weather. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I don't know where the heat went, but it needs to come right back. And I mean, in a hurry. So, man, but yeah, you guys, again, my pullers, if you guys are watching, you guys want to be a part of this feature that we're doing, just shoot me a message. That's all you got to do. And just make sure it's a great video and your logo is at least a picture of it, or the logo file itself will do too. But that's going to be something. And the ones that we've done so far, I think I've got somewhere around 30 of them loaded up to go on Facebook here the next 30 days. So that's going to be mainly what our feed is, minus whatever racing news comes out. But other than that, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, keep your eyes as we go on full racing for anything you want to watch on Racing Portion. PRI, that is, if you're a motorsports nerd, you best go to that show. That is one show that you need to get to. It's pulling, racing, dirt track, all of it. It's all of it in one. If you want to buy a new trailer like Shane Masson did last year, go to PRI.
Yeah, PRI show, man. That's going to be another one. That's going to be my first time going to PRI. And I will tell you guys this, going into the new year, you're going to potentially see a new look. Motorsports Almanac, maybe. Some things I've been working on behind the scenes here that Wyatt, I don't think you've even seen them yet. But we do want to announce one thing before we go off of here.
You should have had Klint on for this one. But
yeah, I didn't know if we wanted to do it then, but we just kind of spontaneously decided to do it now. But Motorsports Almanac will be the class sponsor for the light limited super stocks in Cloverdale this year. We're super excited to be able to do it. And I mean, there's 27 of them coming to battle it out. So we said, you know what? Why not? Super excited for it.
Yeah, it'll be one more conversation point of our group to have our name in front of theirs. So all the weight difference talking and rules combinations, along with the guys that talk about them the most, why not?
Yeah, I mean, we're stoked to be able to do it and support Midwest Fire Nationals any way we can. Obviously, I mean, I don't have many words for it. I mean, we decided on it last week, but that's going to be what happens. Robert, we don't know.
You can go back look at our predictions list. That's about all we can tell you.
Yeah, that being other than by the way, we're figuring out slowly that that's not going to be probably looking as good as it did last year. Just saying.
I blame everything on two-wheel drive. 2 debacles 2 years in a row. Two-wheel drive. Get with it.
PRI is a blast. Ask Adam about the sim racing rigs. Okay, I'm jumping into that because if it is anything like the one I did in Charlotte, I am in there all day.
Yeah, Adam literally just commented about the sim racing. He found it out,
Yeah.
found that out the hard way.
Yeah, now granted, I didn't have to shift and do all these technical turns and all that stuff on there, but that was still a lot of fun. Oh man, just there's so much going on already, and it's not even the new year yet, man. Sim is a shizzle. Charles, I'm racing you if we can race each other. We're racing each other there.
There is more silly season that happens in the next 3 weeks that you won't even believe.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we just found out right before we came on here that the Wager family has purchased an 85 Limited Pro. They posted up on their Facebook page, so that's going to make their third pulling vehicle, along with all of their racing going on too. That's going to be awesome. Has there really been anything else moving around that we know of yet?
Well, new tractors in the works that we can't speak about, which kind of ticks me off. But what do you do?
Yeah, I know it.
Other than that, I really don't know. I think we'll see a lot of it in Midwest Winter Nationals. Klint talked about new component like Pro Stocks coming in.
Yeah,
that's pretty well all there is. I know.
Yeah.
Well, PRI we'll talk about a lot next week. I know the short list of us that'll be there. We'll definitely talk amongst of us.
Yeah. You've got some people to meet at PRI next week, though, too. That's going to be a lot of fun. But again, guys, if I know a lot of y'all in here that's watching the show, y'all are probably going to be at PRI anyway. So,
yeah, head on over. If you're, like I said, if you're a motorsports junkie, manufacturing, you got it.
If you don't go to PRI and you're a motorsports guy, I mean, what are you doing? I know I didn't go last year, but you know.
Yeah, as Charles says, stop sucking. So yeah,
pretty much.
You'll finally get to experience that. So
yeah, exactly. So, man, I say we put a nail in it. So actually, we do have a guest announcement for our next show, and it's one confirmed, but we may be adding 2 more to it. Terry Benson is going to join us on our next show. I talked to him yesterday.
Terry is a guy that has got a lot of hidden stories that people need to hear, and who he's been involved with in his polling career is a stacked list. I mean, the dude is very good fabricator, knows his way around an engine.
Yeah.
And yeah, he'll have some stories to tell.
Was right there in the old days of Super Farm,
working on Pro Stocks, Super Stocks, all of it.
Yeah, who knows who's going to join him after that, though?
I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, I'll tell you after we're off this. But everyone, thank you guys so much for the support so far. We're up to 9,000 followers. We didn't know if that was going to be possible earlier this year, but now our goal is to get to 10K before the end of the year. So if you guys aren't already, follow the page, share the videos. If you're friends with the drivers on Facebook and they don't follow us, tag them so they can see us showcasing their vehicles going into the months. But thank you guys so much for all the support, and we'll see you guys on the 17th, I think it is.
Yep.
See y'all.
Peace.